Red Nation, are we here? The best show for Chicago sports.
Yeah. What's good? We back. Y'all already know what it is, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Welcome into another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Had a little bit of a struggle last week trying to get this show off of the ground, but you know what? We had to get it back in action, and that's exactly what we were able to do. We'll be back Monday through Friday at a little bit later time, but still enjoying you guys being able to sit in here and chop it up with you and talk football on today's episode. Listen, the draft is over. And the Bears got some moves that they can still make to improve this team to the next level. Should they be looking at a guy like Chase Young? Should they be looking at the free agent market at Leonard Floyd? Leonard Floyd back to Chicago?
Oh.
That'd be insane, actually. We'll talk about all that and more on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Yeah. We vibing on this, man. They'll let me vibe like this on the Chicago Bears podcast, man. I can't just do my own thing. Gotta do what the people say, the man. Nah, I'm just playing. I love it.
Hey, listen, Pat, we need to talk to you for a second.
You know what I mean? Somebody today, I was like, hey, man, you know how, like, I used to always go to work and Buzz be like, hey, Pat, how you doing? I'd be like, living a dream. When really I wanted to, like, end myself. But, I didn't realize that, like, as I said that today on some, like, just off of always saying it. Like, how you doing, Pat? Living the dream. And I was like, oh, I really am, actually. This is fairly nice. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Ringo, what's good, man?
Hey, man, what's good, man? We back in rotation, ready to go.
That is a fact. We are back in rotation, man. The draft is over. We will be live here Monday through Friday. But it can't be at 9 a.m. because I got to go record the Chicago Bears podcast. So we're going to do it at 5 on your ride home. If you're on the train, if you're in the car, wherever you're at, maybe in the car, maybe be a little more discreet with it. But we'll be here Monday through Friday breaking down Bears topics, Bulls topics, NBA, national topics. Playoffs are still going on. There's so much to talk about right now. Ringo's got the Giants.
Hey, man, we here. Hey, both teams had a solid draft. I'm not
going to lie to you. I feel like a lot of teams around the league had a solid draft.
A lot of
I feel like it was just a lot of solid players.
Yeah, it wasn't any like surefire like sexy picks, but these are the picks that we need to make to improve our team.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with it.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt about it as well. Let's jump into this though, man, because now that the draft is over, we got to get into what the Bears could do outside of the draft. There is still free agency that could come up. There are still free agency. There are still free agents available, I should say. There are still cuts that could come up that the Bears could take advantage of. But the number one thing on the top of the list right now is Chase Young, because the Commanders did not pick up his fifth-year option, which is huge, right? It does go into the medical now. Chase Young coming off of a torn ACL and a ruptured patella tendon. The compound of both makes you a little bit leery, but Ringo, for the Chicago Bears, would you take Chase Young? Would you take a chance on Chase Young? Lance Briggs said today that he's the type of player you move up and down your defensive line and find the weakest lineman and you can have him attack. Would you do it if you're Ryan Poles?
Absolutely. I feel like at this point, if you did, it would be like I don't think that you're giving up that much capital considering.
Yeah.
You know what he's what he's been coming off of. You talk about the ACL, you talk about the tendon and everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, when he is on the field, he's pretty much dominant. I mean,
he's a monster.
We literally saw him and Joe Burrow. Like we saw him and Joe Burrow's rookie season when he literally blew him up.
Yeah.
Like when they had that game at home. I mean, like so it's no denying that he's a talent. The only that he's definitely a sure bona fide talent. The only thing is, can he stay on the field? When I look at this, when I look at it, if they do make the deal, you're not really giving that much up. You went out. You gotta.
What do you think the deal is for him?
At this point, considering that he really hasn't been on the field in 2 years,
yeah, pretty much.
Maybe like maybe a second rounder, maybe like a late second rounder, third rounder at that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not I'm not trying to get back like I'll give you like 2 picks, but I mean, like, what you gonna say no to that? I mean, seriously, like Washington gotta get, I feel like, draft capital back.
Yeah.
And there's not much they can say other than, I got nothing. He hasn't been on the field in 2 years, realistically.
It's so tough because the chance you're taking, right? And here's the thing: you're still giving away impact picks, right? Like, to me,
oh no, absolutely. A second,
you know what I mean? You're giving a second. You're probably giving a third, right? Like, you're going to give away some impact picks. So you're talking about players that are a surefire hit if you are that aren't a surefire hit if you draft them, but they can be impact players on a team, versus a guy like Chase Young, where if he's healthy, we know what Chase Young is. And I think here's the thing too. It's not just if he's healthy. We talked about this on the Chicago Bears podcast as well. The hardest part a lot of times is the mental. Mm-hmm. A guy can be healthy, but he may not be mentally healthy. He may not be mentally to the point where he's ready to step back on the field and give you 100% production, right? That's the part where Chase Young scares me a little bit, where I look at him and I say, yeah, I like the production that this guy could give. I like what the Bears could go out there and do. I do think that he could be a game-changing player. I think he could be a player that, right, I asked Briggs this today. Are you a Chase Young away from feeling really good about this defense? He said yes. Right. And that's the kind of player that Chase Young was when he was healthy. But
he ain't been healthy.
Is that jump starting the process for a guy who's not healthy? Are you in a position where you can take that chance? That's the part I don't know. And I will say this. I think that, to me, I would ride it out, because I don't think anybody's going to make a knee-jerk reaction and go get Chase Young. I would ride it out and see if, excuse me, see kind of where your defense is halfway through the season, see where he's at midway through the season. If somebody takes it before that, all right, you missed on him. But I want to see kind of what pieces that we are missing, and we are missing an edge rusher on this team, so he would be a big help.
Absolutely.
But I just think that, right, it also is based on, okay, what's the defense doing with what the offense is doing? If the offense is cooking and maybe the defense needs a piece here, piece there, yeah, let's have that conversation. I don't know if I'm there yet, though.
I think my thing with it is this, right? So in my estimation, if you go with your scenario and you're like, okay, well, maybe we trade for him throughout half the season. If he comes back and does dominate, I'm gonna use I know we don't got peak kid here, but I'm gonna use a pre kid phrase. Hey, yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Yeah.
So it's like if I am gonna try to kick the tires, I'm gonna do it now when I can get them for little or next to nothing. And then the crazy thing is, because I just seen this comment.
I think that's the thing, though. This
is it right here.
Which one?
You still gotta sign them.
Still gotta sign them
after you trade them.
Yeah.
You ain't been on the field.
Yeah.
So I can get a team friendly deal. Like, all of this really works out in Pose's favor, I believe, because this is like, okay, now I get, okay, like let's just say, for example, same thing. I'll say this. It was the same thing with Steph Curry when he had the ankle injury, right? They signed him to like a 4-year, $44 million deal. So it was really nothing. But then he started turning into MVP stuff. And Muggs is like, oh, you got him for a steal. But then, you know, the price went up. So then later it was like, okay, like now, like we actually got to sign this dude for what he's worth. I can literally make it and then like, shift the salary cap and make it happen where I can pay Justin, have him under contract, make some room where I could possibly get another because you don't know. And I guarantee you, I'm saying all this to say I guarantee you Poles is looking at this as possibly a W, but as of right now, we just don't know which route that he's gonna go. But if it was up to me, like I like your scenario where you probably trade for him throughout half the season.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know if it's gonna be I don't know if the value is gonna be as low as it is right now for such a high piece if he's healthy.
Here's the thing with what he's coming off of, though. I would rather trade for him knowing that he's healthy. I would rather trade for him knowing that he's going to be able to give production to this team versus trading for him, sending you 2 picks that, listen, are still going to be impact picks and saying, "Oh man, I can't believe that we traded for this guy. I can't believe that we gave that we went out and got this guy, and now he's not playing the game." That sometimes the bird in the hand is not worth 2 in the bush.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is one of those times, right? Like, to me, I love what Chase Young brings when he's healthy on the field. I think that he's exactly what the Chicago Bears need defensively. But realistically,
he's a game wrecker.
He's a game wrecker, like legit. He's going to spend time in your defense in the offense's backfield. But the problem is that I can't sit here and just say I know he's going to be 100% healthy. Mm-hmm. I know he's going to be fine, right? Those are two. Now, the ACL, okay, a lot of guys come back from the ACL, right? I'm not as worried about the ACL. It's the ACL on top of the ruptured patellar tendon, which caused the recovery process to be even longer. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to say that it's a guaranteed no for me. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't be excited to see what Chase Young could be if Ryan Poles went out and got him, but it doesn't sound like something that Ryan Poles would do. He hasn't rushed this process. He hasn't gone all out in this process yet.
I don't think he will.
And so I don't feel like it's something Ryan Poles will do. Hey, if you haven't done so, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure you get in tune with us, man. Y'all out here blowing every other channel up. I need y'all to do me a favor. Go ahead and
push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what she said, man. Push the button. I got the piece to fix my chair, and I still ain't put this mug on because I've been moving. My chair keeps sinking. It's irritating me out here. It's like literally here. But don't worry about that. Shut up. What other targets would you look at if you're the Bears right now, right? Like, I think that's the thing that it comes down to. Chase Young isn't there. And the Bears, here's the thing. In the draft, Bears went interior defensive guys. They went with Javon Dexter. I like the pick. I think that it's you maybe project him to be a different kind of player in this defense than that 3 technique, but I do like the pick. You also got Zach Pickens. I really like that pick as well, but you didn't address the edge. You're going to have some issues with the edge. There are still some free agents out here, a couple of 30-year-old guys that can make some plays out here. Do you like any of these names? Just coming off the edge. You got Leonard Floyd, 30 years old. You got Jadeveon Clowney, 30 years old. Mm-hmm. You got Frank Clark, 30 years old. That's pretty much it. That's your top 10. I mean, you got Yannick Ngakoue, 228. Yannick Ngakoue is a weird one, though. He's kind of like a gun for hire.
Yeah.
Ain't he been on like 6 teams?
Mercenary sorts. And then he got paid. He's really doing the Darrelle Revis thing where it's just like, I'm him.
Yeah.
Let me get that 1-year deal with a big 13 million, and then I'm gonna see y'all now. See y'all somewhere else next year, I guess.
He's such a strange one to me, dog. I love Yannick Ngakoue. One, why would he want to come here, though? Because he is a gun for hire. Yeah. I know everybody keeps saying that name. So you got to go get Yannick Ngakoue. You got to go. Why would he want to come to a 3-win team?
Because, I mean,
why would he want to come to a 3-win team?
Gun for hire. You pay me enough, shoot.
I mean, yeah, but it's also about if you pay me enough and I feel like I could go win. I don't think it's if you pay me enough, I'm going to just show up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, although he didn't win a lot last year, but didn't win at all last year, pretty much. But I mean, any of those names really stick out to you? Yannick is I like Yannick, but I don't see why he would come here. That's the one I guess that sticks out to me the most.
I'll probably say Clowney, but I'll probably say Clowney just because like he would get the run. He's a veteran, so maybe he'll be able to teach the young guys a few things, and you can honestly move him around a little bit.
Yeah.
So if it's me, that's the one name I'm looking at because I feel like that's the one thing that didn't get addressed in the draft. What was the edge? Because I know we're gonna talk about all the offseason moves here in a few, but Clowney would be the guy that I'm picking if I was reading off that list.
I like Frank Clark too. Frank Clark to me is a nice piece to
Hey,
add on
vet,
the edge.
Super
I
Bowl
like Frank Clark.
champion.
Yeah.
Super Bowl champion. So
that's the first thing you said for me as well. The fact that he's a vet, right? We don't have a lot of vets on this team. I mean, the vets that we have are like ridiculously young out here. I think that he could be a little bit of a leader on that defense as well with Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. I kind of like what I like what he could bring to the table for us. I think that he's somebody I'd really be interested in. Now, I don't know if he fits. He doesn't really fit an Eberflus style of defense. And I think that's the hard part, right? What the heck? Did anybody else hear that?
Are you cool over there, bro?
Hey, bro, fam, did you hear that? Did you hear that random banjo that just played, bro? What the heck was that, bro?
Hey, it's the flies. It's the flies.
Bro, hey, bro.
It's the flies, bro.
They coming for me.
We riding that dog.
We ride a dog. That threw me off so much. I don't know what that was.
Oh man,
I don't even know where that came from. Like I have no idea what that was. Here's the one thing that I will say with the Bears as well, right? And the one thing that gets hey, Renewable, you got to relax. The one thing that gets me excited with how the Bears are building this team is the fact that in this offseason we've seen Ryan Poles not just go for the name, right? He's not just sitting there saying, hey, I got to go get this guy because he's a big name. I got to go get this guy because he's a big name. I want this guy. He said, hey, listen, we would like you because you're a big name and you kind of fit what we want to do here. Maybe it's not a perfect fit, but because it's not a perfect fit, I like you at this price. Oh, that's not the price you're trying to get? Okay, we ain't got you here. You know what I mean? But I see kind of how he's building this team. He goes out and drafts Javon Dexter. He goes out and drafts Zach Pickens. Those are two guys to me that while they may not be the perfect name, the high impact name that people wanted in the draft they're guys that I know fit Flus's scheme. It's crazy that there's this insane mindset around the Chicago Bears to go out and draft players that fit the scheme that your coach wants to run. That's insane. I can't believe we're really doing that. You know what I mean? Like it tells you where we're at, bro. Like that I'm sitting here and I'm praising the fact that he went out and got players that fit his coach's scheme. I really like the guys he brought in, and I think it's going to be similar here. I think to me, right, that's why maybe Yannick Ngakoue is the guy that we already know fits. I just don't see him coming here, though. Because I just don't see him coming here.
I think he's trying to get his bread and win.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I like.
We're gonna end up with Leonard Floyd, aren't we?
Possibly. I mean, I think the thing about it is because I see some people in the comments are saying that Frank Clark is washed. I need y'all to understand. The Chiefs couldn't pay him.
Yeah.
That don't mean he wasn't washed. They just couldn't pay him.
I think he's got bad there quick.
Yeah,
I think Frank. I don't think Frank Clark is washed at all.
Nah, he's not washed.
I don't think he's washed. I just think,
shout out to you, but what is up with that hat, real quick? We can't
even hear him. Can't even hear him. Maybe. Let's see. As the pettiest man alive joins the stream with a tie-dye Bulls hat.
Bro,
is that what that is?
What is that?
Hey man, it's a salmon colored hat.
Salmon.
Sound.
You know how Ringo gets down with the sound. Anyway, what's good, kid? How you feeling, brother?
What's going on, baby? How you feel?
Hey, man, we in the game out here. You know what I'm saying?
We come with a little more enthusiasm. I realized I was coming in all extra
What's
low.
good?
You did. You came in like it was smooth jazz in the morning. We sitting here talking Bears football. You know what I mean?
WNUA.
95.5. Hey, man, let's keep it pushing
whatever
along, man.
happened to that
Appreciate you
show?
guys. Cancel. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. We're going to keep it pushing along. Keep the football talk going here. The offseason's pretty much done, right? Maybe we add one or two more pieces. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. Unless we do add Yannick Ngakoue, none of these names are really going to get me to change my thought process on the offseason here at all. With everything that we've seen this offseason. All right, somebody's at the door. With everything we've seen this offseason, what are you grading Ryan Poles with? How are you grading Ryan Poles? Do you give him a good grade for the offseason? I'm not talking about draft grades. Draft grades are the dumbest thing in the world. Hey, these players we've never seen play in the NFL. He's an A. Oh, okay. What happens if he blows his knee out? Well,
that's a bad example, dog.
I'm just saying, right?
I mean,
You draft off potential, and you look at the type of player
potential
that you got and the potential that they had. You can say that he made a good selection based off the potential and how they fit the team. So you can grade according to that.
Say good or bad. Hey, listen, I say this. I saw they graded Russell Wilson's draft, and they said Pete Carroll should have been fired after he drafted Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner. Said these moves make zero sense and nothing is going, and it's the reason that Pete Carroll shouldn't be in the NFL.
Was that a Mel Kiper take?
Oh, it's one of them top mugs. I don't know. Yeah, hey, Mel be wrong a lot.
But
it was one of them top mugs. But hey, I always see those grades and I'm just like, come on, bro. Like, you don't know that Bobby Wagner turned into one of the best linebackers in the NFL, bro. Yeah, I mean, like, come on, dog. But how would you grade the job that Ryan Poles has done this offseason?
I'll let Kid go because he just popped up.
Popped in with the
I
I
appreciate it. Hey, listen. Thank you, sir. I thought it was a good thing. I thought he made the right moves for the team. He was disciplined. We talked about it a lot. Me and you, Pat. He was disciplined. He didn't sit there and go for the big name. Like, you have to put that into perspective. He could have had Jalen Carter. But getting Jalen Carter would not have allowed us to have any type of offensive tackle of note or anybody on the offensive line of note for Justin unless we reached. And so to be disciplined in that area, to still be able to get someone who is absolutely highly touted to be able to fill in that role on our defense, to get multiple pieces for that defense by not sitting there and making that reach for the big name, by not going after the running back who maybe he could have moved up and got. I mean, he was chosen 8th. Bijan was chosen 8th. We picked 9th. We traded back to 10th. I mean, we could have made some moves there.
Which, like, hey, I was so happy that he was chosen 8th because I was like, Joe can't say nothing.
Hey, I was.
I mean, he stayed put, and he could have done what Houston did. Houston sat there, and they was like, "F them picks for next year. We want to go on all in now." Yeah. But he stayed disciplined, and I like how he just filled in every role. And there's not a lot of people you could say bona fide star, maybe, but you could definitely say fits this system. You feel good rolling to the next thing. You feel like we have a complete team based off his selection. So I give him an A based off of that. He didn't sit there and reach. He didn't put us into any negative space as far as trading away too many picks, things of that nature. We feel good about this season. We feel good about our potential for even next draft. I think he did a great job.
Did he play it too safe? That's been That's been what a lot of people have complained about, right? You didn't take the chance on Jalen Carter because you want to play it safe, even though you feel like Jalen Carter could have gone number 1 overall.
So this is my thing, and this is what I said. This is what I said when we had the draft party. At the end of the day, I was actually glad that Poles didn't make that move with Jalen Carter because he goes to the Eagles, and Jalen Carter got off the had some off the field issues. We know everything about it. They have vets over there that are able to point him in the right direction, teach him how to be a pro. So that way, he's not off track. We just talked about it, right? The sexy picks. He didn't make the sexy pick, but he was looking at probably the same thing that I was looking at when I said, hey, Justin was second in quarterback hits last year. All right, Darnell Wright. We need a couple other guys. He went out and got running back. Went out and got who you know. I was actually telling y'all. I was like, Mug just sleep on Noah Sewell. Went out and caught Noah.
I like
Sewell,
the Noah Sewell pick.
Late, and it's like he stayed true to each pick because he's like, yeah, I know this ain't the sexy pick, but this is later on going. This is going to eventually lead us to the wins that we need once we finally build it out. And you can tell that there's a structure there. There's things happening there where this won't be able to crumble because he's putting the right pieces in place.
I use a Madden reference if you all don't mind, or even a 2K reference. It's like when you build a team, would you rather have maybe 2 or 3 people who are like 92 to 95 and everybody else is like scattered? You got a couple 80s here, 78s, this, that, and the other. Or would you rather consistently hit within the 80 to 80, 85 to 90 range? And when you put that into a gamer's perspective, I kind of think that's what Pose did. Pose hit consistently between the 80 and 90 range, you know?
Yeah.
So, speaking in terms of Madden, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I mean, I can make that team work. The 70s, I can make that team work.
Ringo said, give me a 99 overall running back with some 70s, and I'm eating.
Nah, I will say this though, and I had to learn this, because I didn't. So, quick story time. I didn't play a full season franchise of Madden like ever until I had that pass. So I was like, man. I'm running the ball cool, but it's like, yo, once we get into the playoffs, like these mugs ain't really doing nothing. And then like Pat and Kim was like, bro, if you draft offensive line first, because he'll tell you I can run the ball on anybody. Draft the O-line first, hey bro, that's 200 yards a game. Hey. It wasn't until I went and I got that 75 hidden depth. And then, because they tell you like so in Madden on the franchise leagues, you go I think what it is like before every game, like you can tell them like what players you want to upgrade. Yeah. And as long as you putting them in position to score, I think it upgrades, right? Unless I'm tripping on that. Yeah. So it was like at the end of the season, now I'm getting like breakout games, getting star games. Now I got like 3 offensive linemen, superstar on the offensive line with like the 2D. No, but it worked. So in that sense, I think legit that's what Poe's line up doing. That's why I said like later on, like it's just gonna continue. It's gonna continuously lead to benefits. It's gonna continuously lead to benefits. And all these dudes are young.
Yeah,
I should have not made Madden reference.
Yeah, you set that man down a path, dog. Hey, he got to the point. He got there, Vince. You know that's his game, dog. Ain't won a Super Bowl yet. But anyway,
have you? All right.
Well, let me ask you this, Pat. Let me throw the question back at you. What do you think he did? Do you think he played it too safe? You were there. You were at a Soldier Field. You got to see, up close and personal some of the, pros, some of the people who've been calling.
I didn't get to see it. But
well, you know what I'm saying. You were there at the event. You got to see some legendary players and things of that nature. You shared the stage with some people who've been calling these things for a long time. What was the sentiment there? Do you feel like he played it too safe?
I think he made the right picks. Sometimes the right picks are the safe picks. I think that very much like you said, if you draft Jalen Carter, it doesn't change the fact that you have to protect Justin Fields. So now you have to trade back into the first round to try and go get you a guy that's still going to be on the board to go get Justin Fields. And you have to trade up high enough basically to go try and get Broderick Jones, who I think was the last lineman on the board that I really was like, yeah, that's the guy I would want protecting Justin Fields. And then you got to tell him, hey, Broderick, we love what you're doing. Go to the other side and play over there. And now you're out of position. Or you're telling Braxton Jones, who last season played left tackle and played it really well, you go to the other side and you play over there. So now you're forcing people into positions that they're not in or not used to being in. And then on top of all of that, you're giving away the draft capital. You're giving away more opportunity to get more players. You're giving away. So I think that he took the safe route, but I also think that the safe route was the correct route for you to be able to go out and plug the most holes. I left the draft feeling like we were able to find legitimate starters. We were able to find legitimate depth pieces. We were able to find guys that were going to be able to push your starters that are currently there for their starting job, which is going to make them hopefully work harder and try to maintain their job. I think that Ryan Poles did everything in this draft and has done everything in this offseason, right? Which to me is a little bit better than last offseason, right? And I think that he's put his team into a position where we can start to say, okay, it's on the players to make plays now. It's on the coaches to coach these guys up. It's on the team instead of just being on the organization. Last season, we looked at the organization. Last season, if you looked at the Bears, you were like, these guys suck. It's like, of course they suck. Now, what did you think they were going to do?
Yeah.
You took a defense that had Roquan and Robert Quinn, ripped both of them off of it, and was like, all right, figure it out. In the middle of the week, we traded them on like a Wednesday.
Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to piggyback off of that because that's absolutely correct. It was a fire sale, and we were wondering, like, what the heck is going on? So now we filled a lot of those pieces. I'm not going to go that route. Nice.
Filling holes, baby. Filling holes.
We got a lot of those pieces. We made some moves, as B-Dog said. We got depth at each position, which I agree with. Steph, I'm going to throw this to you first. Now that we have all those pieces there now, you were there with me. We did it live. Do you feel like he played it safe? Do you agree with what Pat said? Or do you go into this next season absolutely feeling like, hey, this is on the players, it's on Eberflus? In fact, that's actually the better question. Let me revert back. Is it now on Eberflus to actually make this work? Like, is it now solely him, or are we looking at these players like, okay, maybes, if ands and maybes?
What do we call it? Make this work?
Yeah, like
that's the thing you gotta really address, right? What do we call it? Make this work? For me, make this work is 7 wins. That's still not a good football team. It's a better football team. That's still not a good football team.
Do you think Eberflus has the pieces to be better than 7 wins? Based off our schedule, because we looked at our schedule, we ran out our schedule.
Depends on how it falls.
I gotta see how the schedule falls. I'm not gonna lie. This is what I will say. They absolutely had the pieces on offense. They absolutely got the pieces on offense. So I'm not trying to hear, oh yeah, Justin don't got this, Justin don't got that. The only thing that y'all missed that y'all didn't grab, which I was kind of shocked at, is JMS.
I was a little shocked by that myself.
That's the only piece.
But the problem even with that is, right, like, but you got something that you need.
Yeah,
you got the safety you need. He's gonna be a starter. It's good, right? Like, but it's like, so what do you want to fix, right? Do you want to go in and that kind of makes more sense to me than not, because I think you can still address a center possibly a little bit next season. And I think on top of all of that, the one thing you couldn't come into this season with is Kendall Vildor as a starter.
Oh yeah.
We now know who are the away and home games. Yeah, we now know who are the away and home games. So we do have that. I can run that down real quick and you can make that decision. You want me to do that real quick?
I mean, we can. It still depends on how the schedule falls, right? With travel and stuff like that, but we can do it.
Yeah. I know we did home this time, so we just focus on away, if that's cool.
By the way, one of those might be in Germany as well, so keep that.
Yeah.
By the way, so I look at this. Of course, we play Green Bay home and away, so we know that. We play the division home and away. We know that. So Green Bay, Vikings, Lions. Those are 6 games, 3 home, 3 away. How do you think we all fare on those? Mind you, this is considering that the Lions have made particular moves, looking at what Minnesota has done as well, and
drafted that running back.
Drafted that. They got a good receiver too, didn't they? I thought they picked up a decent receiver.
Detroit.
Minnesota.
Oh, you talking about Minnesota? I thought you were talking about Detroit.
Oh yeah, they did because I think what it was is you couldn't because I don't want to mispronounce.
I'll look it
name.
up, but I'll look it up if you see.
But he was like their number 2, but I think they did draft her.
Who ended up getting in Jigba? Was it the Packers?
Nah, Addison.
The
yeah,
Seahawks
Addison.
got in Jigba. The Seahawks got in Jigba.
Bro, that's gonna be a problem.
They got Addison though. Addison is a dog to me. Jordan
Addison is a dog. Yeah.
I like that one. But no, those are the three. Those are the 3 teams. Obviously, 6
I was
games
just concerned about a Wisconsin team getting in Jigba because I was like, that last name too close. They gonna mess that up. It's gonna be a lot of fights in the stands.
Look at this.
Look at this in Jigba. All right, hold on.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, the camera cut out. Oh, he did.
I'm out of here.
He got out of here after that, bro. He got out of here after that. Bears versus Saints. Y'all down? I'm always down to take a trip to New Orleans. You're not gonna get a bad word out of me, so I'm with it. You good?
Sure.
You back?
Don't know what happened there, but thank you.
It's them in Jigbas, bro.
We won't go down that rabbit hole too much because I know that's going to take us too far off. But we do have the Cardinals, we do have the Browns, we do have the Broncos, Kansas City. We already looked at that. Vegas, Chargers.
How many receivers do the Broncos need? Is my question.
All of them.
All of them.
You gotta do it. I don't get it. Like you gotta do it. That's always open. It's like that. I don't know.
Now here's the thing. Adding to this, right? The Arizona Cardinals went 4-13 last season.
Yep.
Broncos went 5-12. Went 5-12. They went better than the Cardinals. I didn't know that. Kansas City, we know what they did. 14-3. Raiders 6-11. Chargers went 10-7, but they had an interesting collapse. Tampa Bay, I don't think they went 8-9, but
it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. And that defensive line gonna be crazy in Tampa.
Bro,
yeah.
That defensive line. You want to talk about Ringo always talk about how we let that happen. How did we let that happen? Kalijah Cansey? Oh my God.
Kalijah Cansey and Vita Vea with
God.
Kalijah Cansey, Vita Vea, Shaq Barrett, and then Devin White and Levante David in the middle. Like what?
Oh my God.
I honestly think there's only 2 teams realistically where the pressure is going to be on, and it's going to be for different reasons. One, Kansas City, we know the pressure is going to be on facing them. First time we've got to see Justin versus Patty.
You mean the Bears playing? Okay,
the Bears playing up. That's really what the question is.
I literally thought you meant pressure on the Chiefs. I'm like,
and the pressure on the Panthers. I think there's going to be pressure on that game.
I think there's pressure on the Panthers game. There's not really pressure on the Chiefs game to me because listen, we don't know what the Chiefs are going to do. We don't know who's going to be healthy for the Chiefs, and we still got it as a loss. Now, if they win, they win. Shout out to it, right? But like
they win.
We still got it as a loss.
Mm-hmm.
There's no pressure there. When we're in the beginning of the season, we're not winning that game. Who's stopping Kelsey? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, so I don't see that as pressure. I think to me, right, like I know the teams that we play. I look at it and I think that this is what I say about the Bears. And this is what I said when we did a video on it. There's a 7-win team that could have a ceiling of 10. That ceiling of 10 to me is I think that the Bears were a 7-win team last season that got the rug pulled out under them by choice. How many 1-score games could the Bears have gotten?
Out of those 6, I think we had 4 in the bag. Out of those 6, I really do. I really do think we had 4 in the bag.
Probably 3.
Even with 3, right? That's a 6-win team.
That's a 6-win team without
3,
continuity.
That's a 6-win team.
Can we just not? Wow. The word continuity is getting tossed around a lot this year among Chicago.
Well,
but it applies.
You actually can use it this year for the Bears.
Yeah.
Nah, but I think that right, like when you sit there and talk about what the team is, right? Were they bad last season? 100%. They were trash, but they were trash by choice, right? And you saw them play to their competition. You saw them play to their and play up right to a lot of the levels of competition that they had.
They played to their inexperience.
And they absolutely right. And so I think coming
new
into this
system, young QB, it was a lot of change.
Yeah,
going into this in the second year, I'm hopeful. Now, don't get now. Here's the one thing
I think that's the part people haven't really keyed in on. What is Justin in a second year in this system going to look like?
With protection and weapons.
We'll see what the protection is.
Hey,
listen, I like the protection on paper, but Tevin Jenkins wasn't healthy last year. Cody Whitehair wasn't healthy last year. Lucas Patrick wasn't healthy last year. Larry Borum wasn't healthy last year. Braxton Jones was healthy last year. He was a rookie.
Obviously, this is all dependent on health.
I get it, but like I can't just sit here and be they're gonna be great.
And then the other thing too, I want to add with the 3 preseason games, I feel like it's gonna be a lot of like it's gonna be a lot of teams doing what Cincinnati did last year, where it's like, yo, we may not play these mugs like the whole entire preseason.
Yeah.
And then y'all just gonna have to figure it out, and it's gonna take them about 4 to 5 weeks to get to where they gotta go. So I'm with Pat. I gotta see it. Like it look nice, but
yeah, all of this is based off of, we have to see it. We have to see how it comes together, things of that nature.
Yeah.
We're only really going off of paper. We're only going off of the assumption of, and I know, but listen, we're in April, May. We're in May. This is May 1st.
And we talking about Hey, and you already know we're gonna talk about football the rest of the way till the end of the finals.
We got 4 or 5 months of this ish right here. Like we're gonna be sitting there taking a bunch of guesses. So like, guess with me, baby. We gotta be in this fantasy together, because at this point, it's a long off season.
We finna be drunk by the time we get to football. Well, you know what?
You gotta be hopeful. You gotta be hopeful. We gotta be out here. But in all actuality, like all jokes aside, you really do hope, and there really can't be any regression. Like you can only get better. We were 3 wins last season. Playing 3 wins, and the teams that we face, we can split all the people in our division. We can split those. Worst case scenario, that's our 3 right there. I still got another 11 games. You mean to tell me I'm not smacking the Falcons? If we can't smack the Falcons, we might as well mail it in, baby. What is we doing? They only got 2. Who's a quarterback?
I think you do have
Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter. Yeah, exactly. I think you do have to look at the you do have to look at the what's it called, the cohesion that can come together with your leader in Justin Fields being able to have the number a second season in this offense. He's going to be able to go out there. Now, here's the tough part, right? Did Chase Claypool figure out the offense yet? We hope so. I don't know. What's DJ Moore and him's rapport going to be, right? What is Darnell Mooney's situation going to be? I feel good about what Cole Kmet can bring to this team. I feel good about our, and here's the tough part. The one thing I feel great about is our running back room. Again, as always. By the way, we can't find another David Montgomery, right? We just found him.
You almost cussed right there. I saw it.
We just found him.
Hey, you almost
in the 4th round. We found him. We can't let David Montgomery go. How can we get? He's a leader. But we found him.
Well, how you know we found him? He ain't hit the field yet.
Watch the kid. I swear, if you swap the jerseys, it's David Montgomery.
Are you trying to say all black people look alike?
Cordero Pat.
You know what I mean? Like if you swap the jerseys, it's David Montgomery. No, real talk. You want to know the real part about that is though? I'll never see you rarely like see Muggs. You'll see him more like doing post game interviews and doing this. I'll speak more to it, right? Or when we do this work, when we do this type of work, you see their faces a lot more. But I swear, bro, I don't know. Like I be seeing Bears from like the 2005, 2006 season. I don't know what none of the Muggs faces look like. Outside of like the major dudes. So they be like Israel Adonijah. I'd be like, oh, that's what he looked like. I saw Israel Adonijah there. I was like, he was standing next to me. I was like, this got to be a player from back in the day because he's 6'5". Like, I swear.
Hey, Pat be sitting there, his whole life in front of me, like, I gotta know this. I can't mess up his name. What's his name?
Hey, listen,
Pat ain't help me. Hold on, wait.
Hey,
Hey, Water, what's his name?
Pat asks questions. You ain't never got to worry about that. That's how you get all the way there. My boy Pat asks questions out here. But no, I look at what Ryan Poles has done this offseason, how he's put this team together, how he's made certain moves, and some of the late grabs that he got. Here's a question that I will ask y'all, right? Who's the guy in the wide receiver room that Poles doesn't like?
Oh,
I don't think you go get Tyler.
Know.
I don't think you go get Tyler Scott if there's not somebody in that room. Now, listen, there's also some bad, right? Like we still got some of the bottom guy. Equinemius St. Brown is there, right? He pretty much turned into what I said he was. But who's the guy that is this the makeup for Valus? Is this to replace Mooney? Is this
Nah, that's the thing.
Go ahead.
So to me, I think the corner that they drafted, because you said that you couldn't come in with Vildor. I think really that's going to replace Valus on the special team side of things, because he also returned kicks.
He did return kicks in college as well. He can catch kickoffs and punts.
Yeah, he catches the kickoffs and punts.
Yeah.
To me, as far as probably a receiver that you may not like, I would possibly say either Claypool or Mooney, because I think DJ is gonna be there. But if you see Stevenson,
yeah, oh, he got game.
Stevenson,
I seen his tape when we drafted him. Hey, when we drafted him, I stood up on my couch. I was like,
look though,
good stuff.
Because when we saw him, that's the exact reaction I had. Because I was like, hey, because I had Zay Flowers written down. So then, like when we was at Joel's, Zay Flowers came on the screen. Kid was like, hey man, hey, this dude kind of decent. I was like, hey, you know what he does? The Hollywood don't run routes.
Run routes. Yeah,
actual route.
Yeah, route running technician out there.
It's like, hey man.
I'm gonna go for one reason, and it's actually because of what Rajan said. He gets paid nearly $3 million. Wasn't really available the season before. He's gonna be an unrestricted free agent in 2024. I don't think he resigns him. I don't think he goes after him. I don't think he keeps him. And so now you have opportunity. Tape looked pretty good. I think that you're holding out on next year. 2024 is a different type of draft. I think that's the insurance in case Justin isn't what we need him to be.
Yeah.
I'm really people keep trying to throw hate on that. It's like, listen, there's it's a different ball game. He didn't pick Justin. I'm not saying Justin ain't good, but he has to give himself in his third season as a GM an escape route. That's his escape route. And so
I think he has that already with the pick. Even if you don't like. Even if the pick don't end up being a top 5 pick from Carolina, you got 2 first-round picks.
You got 2. He could trade up.
And listen, if Justin's bad, you're gonna have a top 10 pick.
Yeah,
and if you're in the top 15 range, that means you won 7-something games. Like,
yeah. So he gave himself an out, and so I think he's replacing Mooney. Simple as that, and it kind of makes sense. It really does.
I mean, I got to see it, right? To me, the question mark with
Mooney was a 5th rounder, by the way.
Yeah, but to me, the question mark with Mooney is because it isn't can Mooney be a number 2? It was could Mooney be a number 1? I don't need Mooney to be a number 1 anymore. Mooney was a 1,000-yard receiver as a number 2. I bet I can live with that. My number 2's getting me 1,000 yards. I want my number 2 to get me 1,000 yards. My number 1 should be getting me more than 1,000 yards. 17 games, my number 1 receiver should be getting me more than 1,000 yards. But at the same time, we haven't had a lot of multiple receivers getting 1,000-yard seasons at once. So to me, I think that I think I would see what you got with Mooney. Here's the thing with Claypool, right? If the Claypool deal doesn't work out, I'm wrong. The video clip is hilarious. Again, we got hundreds of thousands of views off of it. I don't care. I'm wrong. My opinion was wrong. It is what it is. And if you have a number 1 in DJ Moore, a number 2 in Darnell Mooney, maybe this young man becomes your slot receiver in Tyler Scott. Or Tyler Scott? Is that his name? That's not his name. What's his name?
Stevens.
No, Stevenson
Isn't it
Stevenson is the DB. The receiver that we took is Tyler Scott. I was right. No, Tyler Scott.
So you just got me confused now.
if he becomes your deep threat guy, your slot receiver, right? Like if he becomes that, you're still in a good situation here. You're still in a situation where, okay, I've got a receiver that's developing. I got a young receiver in Mooney, and I got DJ Moore. That's not a bad place to be.
It's not a bad place to be, but just to go back to your point about the clip and stuff like that, I don't know why anyone would sit there and say, oh, look at that. Sometimes it just don't fit. Like Chase Claypool was better than a lot of receivers we could have drafted with that. Well, the way the draft worked out. No, he was better than a lot of receivers we could have picked at 32.
He was better than the receivers we could have got. He wasn't better than Nolan Smith. He wasn't better.
He wasn't better than Nolan Smith.
He wasn't better. And Poles was trying to trade back to go get. You know what I mean? He wasn't better than that. That's where it's
but to sit there, but to sit there and like sometimes it just don't fit. Like Chase Claypool walked into our team with more stats, than 2 or 3 of our receivers combined. Like
to me, the concern.
It's okay.
The concern is the fact that it took them so long to figure out the playbook, and that they just had no way to like help him with the playbook at all. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, like that's what had me concerned about it. Because even Shannon Sharp talked about it when he first got to Baltimore. He said he didn't know that playbook because they did it backwards. So the route trees was backwards. So he said he literally would be running behind the quarterback. Quarterback would be like slant. Say what? He run a slant and he would throw it to him. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got to come up with a little bit of a way to help him as well. But it is, I'm not gonna lie, as much as I loved Claypool,
but that's a team that knew what they was doing. That's a team that was already dialed in. This is a new team, new system. Let's say rookie QB. He wasn't gonna get that help. And the receivers that he had around him wasn't gonna help get him that either. We didn't have a good receiver room.
No, we didn't.
No, it was no one on there to say, hey, this is where you need to be.
He came in, didn't know the playbook, and he still was our best receiver in the room. And it wasn't
when you don't have
like production wise, it didn't work out, but he like talent wise, he still was our best receiver in the room.
Absolutely.
So I can't fault him for that. Like realistically, it was a lot of stuff that was going on. It was a lot of dysfunction in that situation, and playing dysfunction. Like they were trying to figure some crap out. But hey, I'll say this: we have a full off season, second year. I look at this as Post did everything he could to shore up both sides of the ball. I think he did a good job with that. I think we all can agree with that. We feel good about rolling to the next season. Matt Eberflus got a coach. Justin got to play.
I agree.
And everybody need to be where they need to be. You got to get there. Like realistically, we feel good about the people we drafted for our O-line. You got to block. If my QB taking 55 sacks and it ain't him holding the ball too long, that's on you. You got to go. That's the situation he set up for himself. If we ain't getting to the ball, if we're not getting to the QB, and we all agree that we got pieces now who should be getting to the QB, that's on you.
Yeah.
You got to do something. Now, whether that's the coordinator or not, we got to figure that part out. But like we feel like the GM did his job. GM did his job. Everyone else got to get together. So y'all huddle up, do whatever you got to do. But this need to be y'all figure this out. That's what has to happen.
To me, no, I agree. I think that you got to look at your coaching now. Hey Joe, that's a fact. Alan Williams a suspect out here. I don't know what Alan Williams was running some of them weeks, boy. I swear Alan Williams a suspect out here. We got it. That's really what I want to see. I don't know.
Did he have the pieces to run what he needed to run? Like
no, he didn't have the pieces. He didn't have the pieces. I give him that. But sometimes it was just like, hey man, like he ain't even nowhere near the right spot. Like, what did you call? Or did he miss it? You know what I mean?
That's the one thing about these organizations and just even in different sports, I'm starting to appreciate more. Some of my takes early on was just wrong. Like I used to think that the head coach had full control over everything. Oh, shut up.
The Patriot system was built for Cam.
Hey, that might be the worst.
That
might be one of the worst. That might be one of the worst. I'm not gonna lie.
I will say this:
you've had a lot of tough takes. The Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers one. That was
I still
probably
stand on that one.
that's probably the whole.
I still
Hey,
stand.
hey,
I
the
still
pivot,
stand. Hey,
the pivot on that
Aaron
is great.
Rodgers ain't never been.
But I ain't
Hey,
gonna
you
lie
put
to
that
you.
back like you put him on Derek Carter's back. You got a different Aaron Rodgers.
Hey,
That's all I'm saying.
but I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. When you said the
Bro,
Patriots system is built for
we
Cam,
was looking at him
Hey.
like, bro, do you know how long they've been running this? Like they've been running this since he got there.
Hey, why y'all bringing up old stuff?
Hey, what's that for my brother? We waited 20 long years. 20 long years.
Hey man, we gonna shift to some NBA real quick. This is how you pivot.
Hey. Hey, we actually got to get out of here. We got 5 minutes left in the show.
5 minutes left of the show. Hey, listen, NBA Steph puts on a legendary Game 7 against the Kings. This is the most points scored by any player in a Game 7 ever. So you think about all the players that's your favorite. Think of all the legends. Steph did that. What did you see? What did you like? How did all this? I mean, they've been talking about it all day. You turn on any sport, it's Steph's 50. Did you see it?
Definitely saw it. Definitely saw it. It was masterful. It was.
Can I pick myself up since we changed from the Patriots?
Yeah. You go ahead. Go ahead. Get up here.
All right, cool. All right, bet.
Cam Newton it up. No, I'm just playing. It was masterful. It was right. It was. Here's what I keep hearing this conversation. We need to start having a conversation about Steph Curry being the greatest point guard of all time. I said this a while ago.
No.
And Muggs didn't want to have this conversation. We need to stop with the position when it comes to Curry. We need to start having a conversation about Steph Curry being one of the GOATs. We need to start having a conversation about Stephen Curry being one of the best players to ever touch a basketball. I don't care how he's getting his points.
No.
He's dominating. And in the biggest moments in the world, he's stepping up. That what you saw last night was
Facts.
what people in the 90s got to see from Michael Jordan.
Facts.
Yep.
That's what you saw from Stephen Curry last night. And he's the smallest dude on the court every night.
6'2". If that, we won't really know.
I think 6 at best.
I think the dopest part about it wasn't even just the game. Draymond said that he literally said Steph really don't talk much, but he literally told them, he was like, look, we got embarrassed game 6.
It did get
we finna get on the bus game 7. He said, if you ain't trying to work, if you ain't trying to score no points, if you ain't trying to get these rebounds, if you ain't trying to get these assists, don't get on this bus. If you get on this bus, you're making a commitment to the team. And then he was like, I didn't know he was gonna drop 50. But you kind of had a feeling that was gonna happen, and he literally just came out and literally was like, when he told them to light the beam, he was like, man, I don't care about none of that. I'm coming out here, I'm finna do what I do, and he literally showed y'all like he's really that guy. He's really that guy. Like I've had him over Magic for about a year now.
Yeah, no, I ain't got him there
yet. That's
I'm
me.
having a conversation. I ain't got him there yet.
I feel
but
like
I'm willing to have a conversation.
I feel like he there.
I don't want to ever. We came up with greatest of the era for a reason. It's mad disrespectful to continually place current players against players of old. Imagine what Larry Bird would look like with a green light to shoot as many threes as Steph looked like. As Steph can shoot.
Larry had a green light.
Larry didn't have that same green light. It wasn't how the game was played.
It wasn't how the game was played.
It's not how the
Larry
game
had
was
that green light. Hey, wasn't nobody finna tell Larry don't take that shot.
It wasn't until almost 97 where the three was like, okay, let's take more threes. Take more threes. You can see it. You see it in everyone's numbers. You see it in their attempts.
Yeah.
Right? I just can't do it. And it's not even, it's a disservice to them. And all the legends that we've spoken about, they all say the same thing. I will not put myself over others because I never played them and I learned so much from them.
LeBron didn't say that. But
everyone but LeBron.
I think here's the thing though, right? If you can have the conversation of, listen, can Larry Bird play in today's NBA?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can Michael Jordan play in today's NBA?
Absolutely.
50.
Can
He'd be a
LeBron James play in the 90s?
A
Yeah.
taller Russell Westbrook with a jump shot.
You know what I mean?
kidding me?
Like, and so this is the thing. I feel like we can have the conversation
I'm scared of
on
wrestling.
how would that guy fare. And here's the thing: when we talk about a lot of these guys, it's about how would he fare in that era? How would he fare when he played there? How would he fare? Right? I think I still feel the same way. I saw Steph Curry get beat up in the finals last year, on the way to the finals too. I really think Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Yeah, LeBron's tough to put in there. I think LeBron would he want to. Are the most unguardable play, and Shaq are the most unguardable players we've ever seen in our lives.
Yeah.
Stephen Curry needs to be in the conversation of unguardable. You've never seen somebody just step in front of him and shut him down in the 7-game series. We've seen him have some back and forths, have some up and downs. But even what's his name said Delly was dead. Hey, that was funny. I ain't gonna lie. And then De'Aaron Fox after the game. Hey, bro, that's facts.
Real. I think that's the one thing I looked at. If you looked at this game and you see how much energy Steph still had, shout out to his endurance, to his coaching training, to whatever he got going on over there, because that dude was running full speed and dribbling through massive doubles. I mean, like that type of play, game 7. I know it's a game 7, but De'Aaron looked dead. De'Aaron looked tired.
He has 7 games of guarding Steph.
Steph had to stick somebody too. I'm just saying the constant motion. Y'all ever just watch a game, rewatch the game and just watch how he moves in the constant
never stop.
movement.
He'll never stop.
That's so tough.
Him and
Can you imagine just
Clay.
running into picks and he ain't even getting the ball?
Come on, he not even touching the rock.
Oh God!
Like all that right there, that's tough. Like just try it. Like if y'all want to get in shape, go ahead, put on a sweatsuit and just run around the court like Steph do. Don't even look up, just run. I promise you're gonna lose weight. That man has to lose weight every game. I say this though, just to answer your thing. I think he's one of the most unguardable people that have ever played. I think he absolutely should be in the GOAT conversation, but I still think it's a very position-based thing. I think Steph should be in a conversation of best combo guards they've ever played. And I think there should be a list, and you can tier it if you want to, but I'll never say that Steph was better than Kobe because I've seen Kobe figure out how to get around Steph and lock Steph down. I know Steph can't stick Kobe, and I know that depending on the set of picks, maybe Kobe can't stick him in his prime.
Hey, look, not this Steph. We saw Kobe do it with young Steph.
I seen
bro,
James Harden.
Did you see him yesterday, bro? When I think he was coming down the court, Harrison was sticking him. He tried to put the body on him, bro. He threw the ball into him a little bit to get him off, and then he shot. Bro,
I've seen prime James Harden make the league look stupid, and how he sat there and finessed it. Hey, listen, we've seen it for 3 years. James Harden was the most unguardable player on the planet.
That's because
you can't take that away from him.
I can. That's because the rules allowed him to be the most unguardable player on the planet. James Harden was at the free throw line 25 times every night.
James Harden doesn't have to play another game. He's already had a better career than T-Mac.
Well, listen, a lot of shots.
James Harden doesn't have to play another game. He's already had a better career.
Why T-Mac catching strays? Why T-Mac catching strays?
I don't know. T-Mac, T-Mac didn't do nothing.
Hey, well, this is the second time I gotta just double up. T-Mac, the B Marsh T-Mac of NFL. That
wasn't even a shot. Like that means B Marsh could have a Hall of Fame chance. That wasn't even a shot, realistically. It was just we didn't get to the playoffs with him.
But at the end of the day, I think the overall sentiment is we got to see a legendary player do legendary things, and we got to appreciate it because he's 34. It's coming to an end eventually. LeBron's 38. It's coming to an end eventually.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. This next NBA finna be trash. I don't see nobody that I'm really excited about. Like I love watching some of the players do what they do. I love watching Ja. Because Ja has a high IQ with it. But it's Ja, it's Shea.
The internet.
Ant-Man. I like Paolo.
Ant-Man. Listen, I think Ant-Man is a great
like
basketball
Luka.
player, but I need the high IQ to be higher. Luka, the same thing to me.
Kyrie is still 30.
Okay, Kyrie finna be with Luka.
Trey.
I'm just saying.
Definitely don't need to see Trey.
I think
Put some
Jaylen
respect
Brown's
on
gonna
his
leave.
name.
Definitely don't need to see Trey.
I think there's a lot of stars who we just
if
if
LaMelo can stay healthy too.
If LaMelo can stay healthy,
But
I just feel like I feel like it's a bunch of dudes, right? Like when Kobe talked about the league, and then we gotta get about it. When Kobe talked about the league, where it was a bunch of dudes that was just playing ball to play ball, they wasn't playing ball to win. That's what I feel like we finna watch.
What?
Nah,
I feel like we finna see a lot of dudes that's playing ball. I don't know how many people we're gonna see with the mindset like Curry's coming with, like LeBron had came with. Yeah, I mean,
I think the rule changes are gonna stop that. I think the rule changes of you're not gonna get this MVP vote, which is absolutely going to impact how much money you qualify for when you re-up.
That's true. I do want to see the impact of that.
You're not going to be able, if you can't get first team all defense, first team all NBA because you didn't play X amount of games and stuff like that. I think all of that is going to change how people approach the game. I think the mid-season tournament, if done right, is going to change how people approach the game. I think there's going to be a lot of incentives for people to really step up and actually like perform. And that's going to be the purest form of basketball. When you take the money away from it, it's just, we're so closely tied to that struggle of players coming from nothing, not having anything in college, not having anything in high school, but with NIL and stuff like that, these kids are rich before they hit the court.
Hey, they so much money before they hit the court, bro.
Hey, some people are $3-4 million up before they hit the court. They don't need this money.
That boy Mike.
So how else do you incentivize?
Shout out to Bronny. Shout out to Bronny.
6 M's up. He don't need the money, but he's 6 M's up already.
I swear, Bronny finna have a mad regular career.
He's 7 up right now.
Hey, Bronny finna have a mad regular career. He got kid commercials already. Shout out to that Tell You Ride.
I do think that at the end of the day, with the group of international players that's already in the league and the ones that's set to come in, I still think that you're going to be able to see that hunger. Will it be on the level as it is right now? I'm just not sure.
Yeah. That's gonna be the next shift too.
But
it's a shift.
USA versus international all-star game.
We getting cooked.
We
did that already.
Oh, y'all getting cooked.
We don't do it.
Y'all, you from here, man. How you gonna say y'all?
I
America,
bro.
All right, we getting up out of here, bro. This man goes all America, bro. He said, "Oh, y'all getting cooked." Hey, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Windy City.
You know why he did that, dog? You know why? Because Florida is its own different country.
Florida's a whole different country, bro.
By the way, hey, what did Duncan Robinson shoot? Oh, okay. Anyway,
that's how you pivot.
Y'all stay safe out here, Chicago.